What's good, people? Today, the topic of interest is why you do what you do. So, in this video, we're going to be covering what drives human behavior. So, you're going to get a good understanding of what makes people do what they do and also what makes you do what you do. So, we're going to be discussing values because this is the thing that drives behavior. So, when I say values, what do I mean? So, a value is basically what a person deems as most important to them. When somebody says, "This is what's most important to me," this is what they value, and this is what guides the decisions that people make. So whenever you come to a place where you don't know what to do, you don't know whether to turn left or right, you're like, I don't know what to do, it normally comes down to you just not knowing what you value most in that situation. You don't know what's most important to you in that situation. And values are those things that are things that we've all taken in unconsciously. So we never really decided our values for ourselves. Like if I was to go on the street and ask somebody like, tell me what your top four values are, maybe one in like 10,000 people will be able to tell me that, because you're not taught this unless you've invested in personal development like that. You wouldn't know. And the problem with that is you end up creating a life that's unfulfilling to you because you don't know what's most important to you. So values are important because the way that you get them is like through reinforcement, through your parents, through your school, through your conditioning. They'll reward you whenever you'd conform or show behavior that lines up with what they deemed important, and then you get punished like through their withdrawal of attention, through a scold, whenever you displayed traits that they didn't deem as important, whatever they didn't value. Now, there are two types of values that we have. So we've got means values, so the vehicle that which you use to try to get what you want, and then you got end values, which is the thing that you're really after, the thing that's really going to make you fulfilled. And so when I say like means, it's just like your dreams, the things that you think you want, the things that you're after. So when I ask somebody like, what do you want out of life, what's most important to you, people will say things like family, or they'll say success, they'll say money, or they'll mention their dream. I want to be a CEO of a Fortune 500, or I want to be a Formula One driver. They'll give me these dreams. Now, these are all just means. These are just all vehicles. What they're really after is what they think this dream, these vehicles are going to give them. So when I ask somebody, like, why is family important to you? What do you get from family? What they'll say is they'll probably say something like love, connection, support. That's really what they're after. They just have to love, connection, and support. That's what's going to make them fulfilled. You ask somebody, why do you want money? They'll say, like, oh, it gives me freedom, it gives me security. Those are the things that they're after. That's the emotion that they're really after. Why do you want to be a bodybuilder? I want to be significant. Why do you want to be a Formula One driver? You know what I'm saying? I want to be acknowledged. Acknowledgement. That's just really what you're after. That people don't really actually need a whole lot to be happy. But the thing is, when you don't know what's really truly important, what you're really after, and you just focus on the means, what can happen is you can end up building a life that's unfulfilling to you. And I'll give you guys an example. So let's say, right, you've got a lady called Tracy. Tracy. I like Tracy. So Tracy is a young girl who decides she wants to be a nurse because she used to be sick in hospital, in the bedside, but she met a nurse who was really nice to her and like really connected with her. She thought, you know what? I want to be like that nurse that looked after me. I really want to connect with people. That's really, really important to me. So she sets out to become a nurse. She becomes really good at a job. Like all the sick people in the hospital are like, man, we like that lady Tracy. She's lovely. Right, then the manager realizes she's so good. Let's give Tracy a promotion. So they make Tracy the district head nurse of the whole area. But with this promotion, what happens is she's no longer working with like the people by the bedside. She's no longer connecting with people like that. Now she's all alone in the office filing records, making corporate calls. She's no longer connecting with people like that. What Tracy wasn't aware of is that the reason she wanted that nurse role was because she wanted to be like the other lady. She wanted to connect with people, because now that's taken away. She feels empty and she feels unfulfilled. Everybody on the outside is like, this is amazing. She's got that promotion. She's making more money. She's doing great. And she knows that it's a good thing that she's promoted and feels great, but she feels empty because she's no longer meeting that value. That value that she had of being connecting is gone. And that's why you get a lot of celebrities who have like all the success in the world, like they're making loads of money, they've got all the fame in the world, but they're unfulfilled and they're depressed, suicidal. Why? A lot of the time it's because they're no longer living in line with their values. They're not getting the thing that they're really after, what they thought the success would bring to them. And as a result, your life is empty. Your life is empty or unfulfilled when you're not meeting your values. And you got two groups of values that you've got. So you got values that are moving towards values. So these are the emotions that you really cherish, the things that you're really excited for. And then you've got moving away from values. So these are the emotions that you do your best to avoid. You don't want to experience these emotions. So it's starting off with the moving towards values. These influence the decisions that you make. So for example, if somebody values or really wants to experience adventure or really wants to experience freedom, that person's going to make very very different decision to somebody who values security most, right? The person who values freedom, adventure, that person's going to go backpacking. That person's going to go like, you know what, I'm going to go travel the world. They're just going to quit their job and then go traveling and not worry about the finances. Whereas the person who values security, that person's not going anywhere. That person's going to be like, hell nah, I'm staying in my flat and paying my bills. They're going to be risk adverse, right? They're not going to take risks. They're not going to be investing in stocks and bonds, right? Because they want to feel secure. They'll work their 9 to 5 and they'll keep the funds that they've got. Completely different life, right? Somebody who values significance, success, may make very different decisions to somebody who values love and connection most. Somebody who values love and connection most is probably gonna prioritize their relationships, their family. The person who wants success may sabotage all that, may sacrifice all their relationships, throw everybody under the bus to get to the top, right? It comes down to value systems, to what you deem as most important. Now, in regards to value systems, it's important that when you do write them out, you put them in a particular order. You really think about the order that you put them, because this is what results in self-sabotage a lot of the time. So let me give you guys an example. So in regards to the other form of values, you got the values that you're moving towards, the values that you want to experience. Then you got moving away from values, the emotions that you don't want to experience. Now the thing about human beings is that they'll do way more to avoid pain, to avoid feelings that they don't want to feel, than they will do to avoid to gain pleasure. People will do more to avoid pain than they will to gain pleasure. So they'll do more to run away from the emotions that they don't want to experience than get and experience the emotions that they want to. And this is what brings about self-sabotage. So let's say somebody values success, they want to be successful, they want to do really well in their life, but their number one value that they want to avoid, the number one emotion they want to avoid, is fear, or they want to avoid rejection. Now, if you're trying to be successful, what's the probability that you're going to experience fear at some point, or the probability that you're going to be rejected? Extremely high. So whenever you come to a situation where the potential of rejection could occur, or you may experience fear, you self-sabotage. So you don't go for it. You take 2 steps forward, then you take like 3 steps back. You're self-sabotaging yourself. Why? Because you're doing your best to avoid these emotions, right? This is why it's so important to put things in a good order, to think about the values that are most important to you. And when I did mine, I realized like certain things, but I realized like a lot of the decisions that I made, they made sense. They made perfect sense to me. So let me give you guys an example. So in my old one, so I'll show you guys, this is the old one that I did do. These were the order of the values that I thought were most important. So bear in mind, man, some of this is crazy. So my top 4 was significance, success, intelligence, and growth. Those were my top 4. And then I had passion, honesty, freedom, adventure, health. Like the crazy thing was that love wasn't even in there. Can you imagine? Love and happiness, health, those weren't even in the, well, health is right at the bottom. But love, happiness, wasn't in that. My top 4 was significant success and wisdom growth, and it made perfect sense based on the decision I made. What I spent most of my time doing was on my own, reading books or training in the gym. And what I did notice is that a lot of the time, when I'd cultivate relationships, right? But when I cultivated relationships and I build a bond, whenever I got a whiff that this person may slow me down or stop me from achieving my goals, I would cut them right off. Even if they were good people, I'd be like, boom, never hear from me again. I'll cut them off, right? Now that was a problem, because when I start thinking about the type of future that I want to have, the type of vision for my life goal, I had to rewrite my values. So I wrote them out to match the vision that I've got for my life. Now for the vision for my life, what I see is I see success. I see great things, right? And I see family. But in order to have family, you got to have love in there. You got to prioritize your relationship. So my new order, my new top 4. So my old one was significant success, intelligence, and growth. My new one is now honesty, growth, love, and health. Now, when I was changing these over and rewriting the order, it did scare me a little bit. It did give me a bit of anxiety, shall I say, because I thought, oh no, if I remove significance from the top, maybe I'll lose my drive, right? I'll lose my ambition. But I think it's made me happy and it's given me a more balanced life. Now that I've got love in there, so love has been the biggest shift. I put love in there. And that's what's influenced me, especially to create like a book club. Now, initially, I wanted to create a book club because I wanted to have more people to connect with who are into personal development. Because normally before I'd be like, I just read all these books on my own. I can go much faster on my own. But I really understood the value of it last week when we discussed a particular chapter in the book. And then one of my friends in the club mentioned something that was really, really profound. They mentioned something that I didn't see in the book. And I was thinking, dang, this is amazing. So I understood now. I see the value now that you can go faster on your own, but you'll go further with people. So I've started including more people in that. So I don't want to be one of those people who like, live old, but I have all my accolades, but I've got no friends, no family because I didn't prioritize my relationships. Be like just me and my accolades. Can't be me, man. I want to be having a pot roast, being swole with my grandkids running around. You know what I'm saying? So that was one of the shifts for me. Now, also in the values that I avoid, them, the things that I want to run away from, the things that I don't want to experience. My top four now is cowardice. So being a coward, I will not be a coward. Dishonesty, I will not be dishonest. Poverty, ain't gonna be broke ever. And then stagnation as well. Stagnation is my top four. So you want to list out your top 10 values, or at least your top five, and make sure that you put them in a particular order that's going to benefit you, because that's what's going to shape your life. And when you do make a new list, like I did, you want to stick it somewhere where you're going to see it, so you can have a continuous reminder of the direction that you want your life to be. That's going to help you allow you to make better decisions. So I recommend listing your top five for the emotions that you want to experience, and then I'll say at least top 10 for the ones that you want to experience, top five for the ones that you don't want to experience, and make sure they're aligned. So that's the video of the day, guys. You take care, and I'll be back again tomorrow. Peace.